Hi friends, welcome back and welcome to a new pre-recorded series here on the channel. I've been teasing you about it for a while, but I'm finally in a position where I'm actually able to start recording these videos. Now, it has been a moment since I've pre-recorded some videos, so bear with me until I get my bearings again. This new series is called Flowers of America, and it's a cottoncuts exclusive project. Basically, what cottoncuts has done is they've partnered up with a fabric company, and they have created fabrics for the different flowers of each state of the United States. And they're going to be releasing them 5 states at a time over a 10-month period. Now, I'm a little behind. I'm about 3 months behind, actually. As of the recording of this video, we are in August, and they have just shipped our 3rd month of blocks. So we're going to have to catch up. Now, the idea is that I'm going to be creating a new video for each state, each block. Now, the videos are going to be pretty short because the blocks are pretty small. The finished size is only 8.5 by 8.5, so there's really not a whole lot of pieces to it. So the videos are going to be pretty short. But at least we'll be able to learn a little bit more about each state and a little bit about the flower within that state. The state we're going to be working on today is Delaware. Let's check and see what type of flower Delaware has. Delaware's state flower is the peach blossom. Their state capital is Dover. Their statehood was December 7th of 1787. Their state bird is the Delaware blue hen. And their production is of soybeans, corn, and watermelon. Famous person from Delaware is Thomas Garrett. And an interesting fact is the World Championship Pumpkin Chunkin is held in Delaware. A quilt shop to visit in Delaware is the Blue Hen Quilt Shop. So let's go ahead and get started with the block. Here is a picture of the flowers for the fabric for Delaware. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? That is our peach blossom. In addition to that, we also have some beautiful light green squares. You can't really see it on the camera very well, but they're more of a aqua, like a mint green, and then some nice dark blue fabric here, and then some accent white as well. I can't wait to see what this block looks like. So let's go ahead and get this block put together.
Delaware is a state in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeastern region of the United States. It borders Maryland to its south and west, Pennsylvania to its north, New Jersey to its northeast, and the Atlantic Ocean to its east. Delaware was named after its location on the Delaware Bay, which is in turn derived its name from Thomas West, 3rd Baron Delaware, the first governor of the colony of Virginia. Delaware occupies the northeastern portion of the Delmarva Peninsula and some islands and territories within the Delaware River. Delaware is 96 miles long and ranges from 9 to 35 miles across, with a land area of 1,982 square miles and a total area of 2,489 square miles. It is the second smallest and 6th least populous state, but also the 6th most densely populated. Delaware's most populous city is Wilmington, and the state's capital is Dover, the 2nd most populous city in Delaware. Delaware is on a level plain with the lowest mean elevation of any state in the nation. Its highest elevation is less than 450 feet above sea level. The northernmost part of the state is part of the Piedmont Plateau with hills and rolling surfaces. Since almost all of Delaware is a part of the Atlantic coastal plain, the effects of the ocean moderate its climate. Summers are long, hot, and humid in Delaware, often with intense but brief late-day thunderstorms. Winters are modestly cool to cold in northern Delaware and cool to mild in southern Delaware. Delaware is known as the first state because it was the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. George Reed, Gunning Bedford Jr., John Dickinson, Richard Bassett, and Jacob Broome joined the 34 other delegates at the Independence Hall in Philadelphia on September 17, 1787, to endorse the United States Constitution, which was then ratified by the state of Delaware on December 7, 1787, by the then president of the Delaware state, Thomas Collins. Before Delaware was settled by the European colonists, the present-day state was home to the Eastern Algonquin tribes known as the Unami Lenape, or Delaware, who lived mostly along the coasts, and the Nanticoke, who occupied much of the southern Delmarva Peninsula. The Dutch were the first Europeans to settle in the present-day Delaware in the Middle region by establishing a trading post in Zunadal near the site of Lewes in 1631. More than half of all U.S. publicly traded companies and 63% of the Fortune 500 are incorporated in Delaware. The state's attractiveness as a corporate haven is largely because of its business-friendly corporation law. Franchise taxes on Delaware corporations supply about a fifth of the state's revenue. In Delaware, there are more than 1 million registered corporations, meaning there are more corporations than people. Delaware is home to the first state national historical park, a National Park Service unit composed of the historic sites across the state, including the Newcastle Courthouse, Green and Sheriff's House, Dover Green, Beaver Valley, Fort Christina, Old Swedes Church, John Dickinson Plantation, and the Reeves Holt House. Delaware has several museums, wildlife refuges, parks, houses, lighthouses, and other historic places. The 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, was a U.S. Senator for Delaware from 1973 to 2009. Other famous Delawareans include actor and producer Ryan Phillippe, actress and producer Elizabeth Shue, country singer and songwriter Jimmy Allen, and Jamaican-American musician Stephen Marley, who was born in Wilmington, Delaware on April 20th, 1972. Opened in 1951, Delaware Memorial Bridge is the longest dual-span suspension bridge crossing the Delaware River between Delaware and New Jersey. The toll bridge carries Interstate 295 and U.S. Route 40. The bridges are dedicated to those from both New Jersey and Delaware who died in World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Persian Gulf War. From 1986 to 2013, and again in 2016, tens of thousands of people would gather the first full weekend after Halloween for the annual World Championship Punkin Chunkin competition held in Delaware. Through various devices such as slingshots, catapults, centrifuge, and pneumatic air cannons, 75 teams would compete to see whose pumpkin traveled the furthest. On November 1st, 2013, the Guinness World Record was awarded to Brian Lawbray for shooting the American Chunker air cannon, which shot a pumpkin 4,694.68 feet. In addition to being famous for throwing their pumpkins around, Delaware is also home to the largest population of horseshoe crabs in the world. Each year in June, during the full and new moon high tides, the Delaware Bay hosts the world's largest spawning population of horseshoe crabs, where tens of thousands crawl from the water in an ancient survival mating ritual that dates back more than 450 million years. Delaware may be small, but it packs a lot of history, cultural, and natural beauty into its borders. As the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, Delaware has a proud heritage that you can explore in its colonial towns, museums, and historic sites. Delaware also boasts some of the best beaches in the region, where you can relax on the sand, surf the waves, or enjoy the boardwalks and the nightlife. If you love nature, you can discover the diverse wildlife and landscapes of Delaware state parks, from the cypress swamps of the Trap Pond to the coastal marshes on Bombay Hook. And don't forget to take advantage of Delaware's tax-free shopping, where you can find bargains on everything from designer brands to local crafts.
Okay, here we go. The first state block for Delaware. Ta-da! I love that. So cool. It finishes at 8.5 by 8.5, which means that we're going to have a lot of these little blocks put together. And the last step that we need to do is this really cool little map that they gave us. We need to color in our state. Now, if I had done this on time, I would have been able to color in all of the states for this first month's clues, and then I would have been able to take a picture of it and turn it in for possibly to win a prize. But obviously, I'm a little late on the draw, so I'm going to go ahead and color this one in anyway so that we can keep up with it, and then we can go ahead and start on the next block. So let me spin this around. Cottoncuts gave us a little bitty container of colored pencils to work with, which I thought are really cool. I'll use these for now, and I'll go ahead and purchase a larger selection of colored pencils to use later on. So let's go ahead and locate our Delaware. which is over here. And I'm going to go ahead and color this in real quick, and I'll see you guys again in just a few minutes. Alright, our Delaware is all colored in. It's kind of hard to see on the camera because of the light colors. I'll probably color it in with some darker colors later, but it is this state right here. There's our Delaware. And there we go. That is our very first state all finished up and ready to go. Show you the black again. And our little state. Whoops, back. Go. Okay, friends, thank you very much for joining me. I can't wait to see what the next state is. Stay tuned for the next state coming up. Bye-bye.